What's happening, guys? Steve here, Cars with Steve, and today we are going to be taking a quick look at the 2021 Ford Mach-E. Now this is a select version of the vehicle, but a couple things. It is the pre-production model, so I can't take it for a test drive, and just because of COVID protocols, I can't actually touch buttons and things like that as well. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of a walk around, explaining some things, then we're going to jump online and do a build and price to figure out how you should have this thing configured if you're looking at buying it. But guys, let's dive right into it and see what the 2021 Mach-E has to offer. The select version of the Mach-E is only going to have the standard range battery, which is going to be a 68 kilowatt hour battery. Rear-wheel drive version is going to give you 355 kilometer range, while the all-wheel drive version is going to give you 325 kilometers. When it comes down to power in this thing, the rear-wheel drive version is going to give you 266 horsepower and 317 foot-pounds of torque, while the all-wheel drive version is going to give you 266 horsepower and 428 foot-pounds of torque. So looking along the side there, absolutely beautiful. So a couple of things, we've got a little, I'd say an Easter egg here. So we've got Mustang there with horsepower written underneath as well. Went along the charging ports, as you can see, we do have an indicator letting us know how full the battery is. Now, a couple of things as we look underneath, we do have a little pony along the back as well, along the top, and this is just under the hood. Beautiful, but look at this styling of it. So when we compare that to the traditional Mustang, from a sizing perspective, so roughly the same body size of it, but it's higher up. So we compare that Mustang to the Mach-E instead, and it is a little bit taller. When it comes down to standard technology inside of the select version of the Mach-E, we have our backup camera as well as our reverse sensing system. Now this one does have the Copilot 360 package, which gives us the blind spot indicators. And along the front, we also do have our forward sensing system, which is going to come standard with the option for that 360 camera as well. Popping inside of this thing, very straightforward. So as you can see, we do have a little button there. So just button press in order to pop it open. And a few things. So as I mentioned, this is the select version of the vehicle, but as you can see, we do have ActiveX seating material, so Ford's pleather seats. And let's take a peek along the driver's side door there. So we've got some seat memory buttons along the side, so our 3 individual seat memory settings. We've got the ability to power fold our side view mirrors. And this is interesting, so I'm not going to touch this, but as you can see there, we do have our hook in order to be able to open up the door from the inside, so really nice. Now, as I mentioned, this is the select, so we do have our seat adjustment buttons, so it is power adjustable seats on the driver's side, and it is a manual adjusting seat on the passenger side instead. Now, as we look down along the side there, so we do have the ability, oh, that's interesting, to turn on our Max windshield defroster. We've also got the ability to select whatever mode we're in for our running lamps. So whether they're on, they're off, automatic, and then our adjusting buttons, so we can make the screen brighter or darker. By the looks of it, so there we go, we've got our ability, so this guy there, in order to be able to adjust the steering wheel, assuming that's telescopic as well. And if we look at the instrument cluster, so very different along this top there. So it's a 10.2 inch fully digital instrument cluster, and then the middle screen, so that center stack screen, it's a 15.2 inch. Now, a couple other things to point out. So as we start to look down the console, we can see that we've got our selector switch, so it lets us choose the gear that we're in, park, reverse, neutral, or drive. There's a park assist feature along the side, as well as our parking brake. But really beautiful styling. I love that steering wheel. Look at that. Ponies everywhere. Ponies on the steering wheel. Ponies on the back of the car. Pony literally everywhere. And then from there, we've also got our hood release. Now, getting inside of the back there, so as you can see, we do have another little button. So we just push that button, pops the door open, and we can open it up from there. So same thing, we do have that hook in order to be able to open up the actual door there, but we've got a ton of space in the back as well. So much more than you look at the traditional Mustang seat. So I'm just gonna reach in there, but as you can see, we've also got some USB ports on the bottom there. So it's gonna be our traditional USB and our USB-C. Along the back there, as you can see, we do have cup holders that could be pulled down as well. Absolutely stunning look. It's very interesting. It's a very unique type of seat inside of this specific one. So as I mentioned, this is the select version of the vehicle, so there aren't a ton of bells and whistles, but at the same time, I still think this thing is really nice. But look at this. Absolutely stunning. Okay, now as we start to move down, so we do have the ability to pop open the trunk there. go, and taking a look underneath this thing. So one thing to point out, so we do have a little bit of a privacy shade in the back, so that's something we can easily take off just using that clip there, but it does hide anything that we might have inside of the trunk of this thing. So as we start to look along the sides, as you can see, a ton of space there. Those seats can fold down, so you can have even more space. But taking a look there, as you can see, we've got a little pony in the back, 12-volt adapter in the back there as well. Now this is a thermoplastic rubber tray that's not going to come standard inside the vehicle. It is available as an option. And as we start to move underneath, we've also got our tire inflator kit. So it's not going to be a mini spare tire, it is just the inflator kit in the Select version of the vehicle. And opening up the doors, so as you can see there, we do have a little lever along the side in order to be able to open the actual door up. Not overly sold on the idea of this in order to open, but it's just a push button in order to unlock and get inside. Okay, and looking up overhead, so as you can see there, we do have our visors. We've got our sunglasses holder, and then the ability to turn on our cabin lights along the top. Next up, what we're going to be doing is going to the Ford.ca website. I'm going to take you through the online configurator so you can see exactly how you should be configuring one of the new Mach-E's. Now, I am strictly going to be focusing on the Select version of the vehicle for now. Look out in the next couple weeks because I am going to be doing a side-by-side comparison of the different trim levels, explaining each different option. Now, jumping off and starting on the Ford.ca website, taking a look, we've got a series of different options that are available for this vehicle. We've got the Select, the Premium, the California Route, the Premium First Edition, and the GT Performance Edition. Now, if you were one of those people who ordered one of these things first, the Premium First Edition and the GT, you're in luck. Your vehicles are coming very, very soon. When it came down to it, the factory built out the Premium First Edition and the GT Premium Edition first. So if you're after one of the Select, the Premium, or the California Route, they're coming soon, but they're not coming quite as quick as the other options. But for all intents and purposes in this video, we're going to be focusing just on the Select version of the vehicle. So a couple things to point out. The Select version of the Mach-E is available either in a rear-wheel drive or an all-wheel drive version. If you go for the all-wheel drive, just know this, you're not going to have as much range as you would in the rear-wheel drive. But guys, we're not talking huge differences here. We're talking a difference of maybe 10%. Because the rear-wheel drive version is going to give you about 355 kilometers driving range versus the all-wheel drive, which is going to be 325. So not a really big difference between the two of them. So let's take a look and actually dive inside of this thing and start configuring one of the Select versions of the Mach-E. So as you can see there, we've got the Select, we've got the Premium, and the California Route 1. So starting off on the configurator for the Select version of the vehicle, it's going to have 18-inch aluminum wheels as a default. Now as you can see, we've got the rear-wheel drive option or an all-wheel drive instead. So as you can see there, as we start to add in the all-wheel drive, it does change the price slightly. So if you wanted to go without all-wheel drive instead, which will be a little bit easier to handle in the winter time because rear-wheel drive, it's not saying it's impossible. People do it all the time. There are a lot of trucks that are strictly rear-wheel drive, performance vehicles that are rear-wheel drive. You just have to be careful with it if you're getting something that's rear-wheel in the winter. So all-wheel drive will absolutely make a difference for wintertime driving. So if you are, more in, let's look at Canada as an option, or there's northern states, I would recommend looking at the all-wheel drive version in comparison. Now, there is only the standard battery option available on this thing as well. So the standard range battery is a 68 kilowatt hour battery. When it comes to paint choices, this is where we can get into some exciting things. So there are a few paint choices that are available. I personally love the look of the black. This looks so sharp. Looking at the infinite blue on this one. Now, it's infinite blue, but it's not quite as blue as you would think a blue would be, but it still has a really nice look to it. It's not that very bright grabber blue that's available in the first edition, but it still looks pretty nice. You've got your carbonized gray, which was the magnetic, which same thing. It almost has like a little bit of a brown tinge to it on this. That's not the case for this actual paint color itself. And then you've got two different types of white. So your space white, which is going to be just a flat white, and then you've also got the star white, which is a metallic paint instead. From there, you've got your rapid red as well as your iconic silver. So those are the paint choices that are currently available for the Mach-E on the Select version. And then from there, you've also got the option for a painted black roof. Let's see what that looks like. So along the top, Interesting, we do have to add in the comfort or the appearance package. So there are a few different packages that we can add in, but for whatever reason, Ford just doesn't have it available as an add-on package here as of yet. So they're missing that, hopefully coming soon, but it's missing for now. So a few different packages, the comfort styling package, or the comfort appearance package, I should say, and then the comfort or technology package. So there are some nice things that are going to be available in that comfort tech package, which we'll cover in just a second, but starting and looking at the basics. So the 100 package, which is the select version of the vehicle, that's the PEP code for this specific one. It's going to have the 18-inch tires on it, phone as a key, which is really, really neat. So rather than having to carry a key fob with you, you'd be able to use your cell phone instead. So I absolutely love the fact that what happens when your cell phone dies, you can still access the vehicle. There is an emergency access code that you can punch in if your cell phone's dead, so you don't need to worry about that. And as a default there, we've got our 10.2-inch digital clusters. Let's look inside of this, so the interior side of things, and we'll flip around and do a closer view. So as you can see, there's a really, really nice look on this thing. I absolutely love it. So this one here, this is going to be the 10.2-inch digital cluster, and then this is our 15.5-inch digital touchscreen. So really, really nice. But as you can see, as we start to move down, all of our traditional buttons are gone. So our seat heater buttons, our air conditioning, our heating buttons, everything's gone. Everything's moved onto this center screen instead, which is really, really neat. I love it, but it's different. And I think that's going to be a challenge for some people, is how different it is. Let's jump into the 360 view on this thing for a second to get a little bit more of a feel and a look around what the interior is going to look like. But looking there, so huge digital screen, really, really neat. You can just kind of make out the seat buttons there. So our heated seats, heated steering wheel, audio adjusting button from there. As we start to move down, we've got our park, reverse, neutral, drive, and then our low gear. And we've got our parking brake, our park assist, as well as our four-way blinkers. Along the side, so steering wheel there, I should say, we've got the adaptive cruise control system. So really, really neat. So the adaptive cruise control system, let's jump back there. So we've got, scrolling down a little bit, that's good. So our Ford Copilot 360 package, that's the 2.0 version of the vehicle. So the 2.0 is interesting because what that's going to do is it's going to give you park assist with some interesting caveats to it. So the park assist, what you can do is you press and hold that little park button there. So let's move over a sec. So, this little guy right there. So you'd press and hold that, and then the vehicle will automatically do either a parallel park or a perpendicular park for you. So really, really neat. There also is the option for parallel park out as well. And then the Copilot 360 package is really, really neat setting. What that's going to do and what that's going to give you is the ability to use other features. So the blind spot, not just the blind spot system, but the blind spot assist. So unfortunately, Ford hasn't released too much detail about the assist as of yet, but my guess is as you start to veer over into a lane, if the vehicle recognizes somebody's in your blind spot, what I think is it's going to then repull you, automatically sending you back in your lane. Don't quote me on that one yet. I think that's the way it's going to be, but until I actually get to play around with these settings, I don't know for sure. But one thing I do know for sure, the new Sync 4 system, so it's going to come standard on this middle screen, is a game changer. Finally! And the reason why is because if you've got an iPhone that you're using as your primary device, now you're going to be able to use the Apple CarPlay wirelessly, which is incredible because previous generations, so Sync 3 and back, you had to physically be connected in order for it to actually work. So it's really, really nice. You can get rid of the this now, and you can focus strictly on having your device in your pocket rather than having to constantly get it out and plug it in for it to work through Ford vehicles. I love the fact that we're finally going forward with that new technology. So it's really, really nice. Over-the-air updates as well. So if you have built-in navigation, it's going to update automatically, which is even better. We no longer have to physically be connected to something. We don't have to worry about updating the maps ourselves anymore. Everything's going to be done wirelessly. So kudos to Ford for finally making the leap and making that happen. Looking back on the screens, as you can see, we've got a couple other options as well on the outside. So we've got 18-inch tires that are going to come standard, but we've got the options for 19-inch tires instead. So this one here, in order to get the 19-inch tires, we at least have to add on the comfort and appearance package. Now, I don't think this is the right package that you want to add on. And the reason why, as we scroll down a little bit more, we've got the 360-degree camera. If we click on that, let's see what happens. The comfort and the technology package instead. This is the reason why you want to go for this. So let's look at the features that are included in this thing. So the Copilot 360 Active Prep Package, absolutely we want to make sure we've got that. But the next one, the Active Drive Assist, really,
really useful feature. The active drive assist was introduced initially in the new F-150, the 2021 F-150, but the Mach-E is going to be here first. So it's going to be the first Ford vehicle with this as an option when it eventually comes out. So what the drive assist prep kit is it's going to let you drive hands-free. So there's a camera that's going to watch your eye gaze to make sure you're still paying attention on the road, but you can have your hands off the wheel, not eating, because you have to kind of take those things into account, what your local laws say, but you can drive hands-free. So you have to take notes as you go, just knowing that the vehicle is going to be able to steer for you and keep you in your lane completely. I love the fact that we're going there. We're almost completely hands-free. We are completely hands-free. Even better. So, a couple other things that are going to be included in this package. We've got our full 360-degree camera as well, cargo area cover, our hands-free foot-activated liftgate. So really nice. It is a power liftgate. Without this just makes it hand-free and foot-activated. So really nice feature. Heated front seats. We absolutely want to make sure we do that. And we've also got our heated steering wheel, memory driver's seat, and our 6-way manual passenger seat as well. So this is a really nice package. I do absolutely recommend adding it on. You know, $3,300. You have to weigh the pros and the cons. It will absolutely help the resale value of the vehicle, but if those other goodies and gadgets and things like that aren't important for you, you can skip it. But trust me, once these other features like the drive assist prep kit, once that is really available, you're going to be kicking yourself for not ordering it because you won't be able to add it in aftermarket. So just keep that into account. So we're going to add that thing in. As we start moving down, we've got a couple other options as well. So 19-inch tires, we can add those in, but we can't do the 19-inch tires with the 360 camera, with that package, unfortunately. You can't do both packages together. I wish Ford changed that. Why? It's tires, come on. But for now, you can. So I'm going to stop groveling about it and just know that you can't do that for now. So it's either going to be 18-inch tires with a foot-activated liftgate, or you're going to be able to do 19-inch tires, no liftgate. The choice is yours. And a couple other things as we start to scroll down, we've got our interior, which is going to be the ActiveX seating material. Now, if you want to know what this feels like, you're a little bit impatient, go and take a look at one of the Escape SELs or an Edge SEL. You'll know what that ActiveX seating material is. So it's a pleather seat. Let's call it the way it is. That's exactly what it is. We've also got some other options. The cargo area protector, floor liners is an interesting one. So if we look on screen, we do have a cloth liner that's going to come standard. The floor liner is going to be a thermoplastic rubber liner instead. Just makes it easier to pop them off, spray them down, and clean it out. From there, heated steering wheel is included because we've added that technology package. Heated front seats, same thing. And we've also got our 6-speaker system with Sirius XM, our Sync 4 system, and voice-activated navigation. So you've got the ability to use Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so you can use the Waze map, Google Maps, Apple Maps, and things like that. But if you're going to a different place where you don't necessarily want to use roaming data, you've got the ability to use the built-in navigation instead. Really nice. But let's see, I think that, oh, look at that view. Really nice view. All right, guys, well, that was a total look at the 2021 Ford Mach-E. That was a select version of the vehicle. Make sure that you drop down any questions you might have below. If you have any feedback for me, or if you have an idea for a video that you might want to see in the future, let me know, because you never know. I might do it, and you might get a little something from me to say thank you. But until I see you guys next time, make sure you stay safe.